Check out Girl Talk in the Spirit podcast with Siobhan. From radio to podcast, check it out online. Find it on Spotify and Spreaker.com. That's SPREAKER.com. Share the vibe online with your girl, Siobhan, yo.
Welcome to Girl Talk in the Spirit podcast. Happy New Year's, everyone.
Yes, Happy New Year.
Not years. Happy New Year. It's a new year.
Yes.
How's everyone feeling tonight? How you ladies doing?
I'm feeling good. I'm looking over here.
Right,
My
Auntie.
girl right
you
here.
haven't been in the studio with me for a minute.
I know, right? I'm looking at my girl over here. She like in the quiet.
Is my mic on?
Yes. Okay. Listen, we got a great show for you guys tonight. We want to start the new year off
Yes.
in a good way, on a positive note, right?
Yes.
We ended 2023. We're in the new year. It's 2024. Can y'all believe it?
Right.
2024.
Ooh,
exactly.
I cannot believe it.
That just sounds unbelievable when you hear like from 1990 whatever, right? Or 2000 and
I think from 2012.
oh,
I
excuse
automatically go to that year.
really?
Right.
That's interesting. What happened in 2012?
I'd rather not say.
maybe we'll get that out of early.
on the side.
But I just want to say that consistency, do you hear me, has been key. I was just patting myself on the back for being consistent with Girl Talking the Spirit since I started. It has not been an easy journey. It has been a lot, but I'm keeping at it. And I just hope for it to get better and better. You get what I'm saying?
It will.
And to do more. Like, you just have to be consistent. Nothing happens overnight, and I realized that. And shout out to me for just being consistent. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
And for having great topics and great people coming on. So I appreciate you, ladies.
Appreciate you too.
Yes. So tonight, I should have texted to you earlier because I do not remember. Oh, yeah. So communication.
Oh, your question.
Yes. So we're talking about communication. What I noticed in the last year and previous years, a lot of people have a hard time communicating, right? And sometimes, how can I say this? I want to use the right word. I don't want to say hold people accountable, but I think when you communicate what's going on with you, with another person, granted, you have your right to have your privacy. You don't have to communicate every little detail, but common courtesy does go a long way. Does that make sense? Y'all get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just feel like last year and previous years, I've been realizing family members, friends, like no common courtesy when it comes to communicating. And it's like, what's up with that? And it's like, no, not in 2024. We're not doing that. Like, we're not doing that. We're holding people accountable, like, for real, in 2024. And it doesn't have to be a disrespect.
Okay.
Right? So if I'm communicating with you that, listen, the way you're communicating with me or X, Y, and Z, I don't have to do it in a disrespectful way. I can't control, Auntie, right? Your response, but I can control the way I approach you. I can't be coming off like, because Auntie been, you get what I'm saying? How do I think you're going to respond? But if it's done in a loving way, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. We're adults. And you have a lot of grown people that don't know how to communicate. It's like, what's up with that? So, in 2024, communicating as it relates to how are you going to communicate this year verbally and non-verbally when in situations. Auntie, you said you had a lot. I'm waiting.
Oh, okay. You're going to start with me.
I am starting with
Hello.
you because you said you had a lot.
Well, when we talk about communication and you're talking about both sides, like, what I'm learning, like, I'm not taking 23 into 24. Whatever I went through with you in 23 is going to stay in 23. Holding on to grudges, holding on to anger over something that happened 5-6 years ago, or something that you're still mad about that belonged to me. I'm talking about my son and my brother. Yeah, I'm putting them out there because I'm at this point where I can't allow you to disturb my peace. And I think that's a part of who I am. I want peace. You know, I don't want no
So how can you
arguing.
communicate that you want peace? Does that make sense? It's like I'm communicating what's best for me. I gotta do what's best for me this year. That's
About
that's what
actually
I'm
letting
doing.
them know how I feel. But at this point, I don't want to say anything yet because it might not be how they going to take it. So I have to pray on it and ask God to give me the strength to say what I need to say and then move on, because them doors are going to be shut. Because I don't want to, like, people don't understand, and I had to, you know, tell somebody this, when I go through stuff, it's not just for me. You know, like, if anybody know what I went through 14 years ago, you know, my cancer is at a rest. And if I let anybody stress me, disturb it, it'll come back. So I got to remove those things that's making me stressful, worrying, and let them go. You know, still say hi. How y'all doing? But just don't have them in my space, because I will hold on to stuff, because, you know, our heads.
Do you really gotta say hi?
Not really, you know, but like, I'm not who I used to be. You know, I'm more so of I'm a quiet person. But that quietness can turn into something else, and I don't want it. So I just say,
That's your
stay to
nonverbal way of communicating.
Yeah,
so you thinking of what you're going to do.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to come back to that. Andre is
Yeah.
crazy. Erla. Huh?
Go ahead.
So, communication as it relates to verbal and nonverbal, moving forward in this year. When you hear that, what do you think? What comes to mind?
I don't know. I'm a big myself up as a pretty good communicator.
You are.
I think for me, I feel like I really am very mindful, and I really try to not give the predictable response that I think people who knew me feel like I would give in certain situations or certain, you know, things when I'm communicating. But even though, like, I could try to react differently if the person's already expecting a certain response to me, they may not grasp that. So for me, I think I was always one of those people who be like, you know, everything can be communicated. Like, I'm always down for a conversation. Always down for a conversation when there is a relationship there. Not necessarily when there's not a relationship there. I really don't care to communicate. What am I communicating for?
Right.
But now I think we're in this season that I'm in. I feel like sometimes it is too late. Things can come a little too late where it's like I'm no longer in that space, and it's like you want to communicate now, and it's like now I have to because now you want to. I don't know how I feel about that. I might, you know, every scenario could be different. So I think it depends on certain situations or conversations that's brought to me, but I may not be in that dynamic. So I think one of the things is probably gonna be like, I'm good. We don't need to talk about it.
There's nothing to communicate.
So I think, you know, like I consciously make peace with a lot of things when I have to, where it's like when I know I've done what I could do in certain situations, it's like, all right, I make peace with it, and it's like, don't come disturb me now. I've moved on from that, and that's where I'm at with a lot of things.
because that's where I'm at.
That's good.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
For me, I'm learning to communicate more with me, right? To check in with me. I'm so used to checking in with other people to see if they good. Let me communicate with Siobhan and make sure she good. You get what I'm saying? And I've been communicating with me. I know. I've been communicating with me lately. I'm talking about later. I enjoy, no, you already know. I enjoy looking at these earrings. Thank you. Thank you, boo. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you. But no, I've been communicating with me more, checking in with me to make sure I'm good. See how I'm feeling when I wake up. Because some days, every day isn't always a good day. And it's okay for every day not to be a good day. Like, I want to say, it is the beginning of the year. the beginning of 2024. I was really struggling with something. And And I was in this place, and it ain't feel good being in this place, but it was like no matter how I was being encouraged. Shout out to Aunt Rhonda. Aunt Rhonda is awesome. That I just couldn't shake it. You get what I'm saying? I couldn't shake it. So I communicated, and it was pertaining to business, just to share. So I communicated how I was feeling with another business owner. She said one thing, man. I'm telling you. So I'm learning that it's good sometimes to communicate your emotions and your feelings when you're going through something. You never know who's around you that can be a support system at that time, right? What she said, it made so much sense, and it was like, wow, man, changed my whole perspective. Changed my whole perspective. So now I know how to approach business with a business mindset. Business ain't about feelings. It ain't about all. No, business is. Yeah, we heard the expression. Business. It ain't nothing personal. It's what?
Right.
It's business.
Business.
Exactly. So I shout out to Kendra. Like, Kendra, you're awesome. I'm shouting you out. And when I seen Kendra, and she hooked me up with some good shrimp and grits, but she said one thing, and it was very encouraging. So I appreciate that I was able to communicate that with her, because you never know what someone else is dealing with.
Yeah.
And come to find out, similar what I was sharing with her, she experienced it too. That's why she was able to give me that advice. You get what I'm saying? But you never know who needs to hear what you're going through. So learn to communicate with your feelings with others if it's in a safe environment. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yep.
And a lot of people don't, and I've learned too, and we've talked about this times earlier, how people don't create safe environments for you to share. And Earla is my friend, and she'll like, right now, Siobhan, like, you not listening. You in defense mode. She's told me that so many times, right? And it's like we do get in the defense mode when somebody is communicating, like, listen, you're doing X, Y, and Z, and I don't know what's up with that, but I'm telling you as your friend, and I'm not really, I don't like how, I ain't feeling that. And we get in defense mode instead of listening and taking in. So communication is also receiving, listening. You get what I'm saying? Ladies, you can jump in at any time that you want.
Almost definitely. I definitely think that some of my friends have seen a side of my personality that's probably not so nice. And
What's so not so nice? Now I'm messing with you.
where it's like I don't really, my tolerance to BS, when somebody BSing me is very very limited, and I have no problem letting them know I think they're BSing me or lying.
I got
to
you.
me. And so I do think, and I do take accountability where I do feel like sometimes if I've done something, or if my friend want to express themselves a certain way to me, they might think second and be mindful of what they're saying to me. Because it's like because I don't have a lot of room for the fluff. If I feel like you about lying to me, if I feel like what you're saying is bullshit, I can be a little bit dismissive with it. And that is not creating a dynamic, a good dynamic for someone to feel like they can express freely because they are afraid of how I might come off.
That's awesome.
Gauge the reaction.
Can you screenshot this for me real quick?
It's
I need to read it later. I can't read it right now.
It's a comment. I'm like,
it's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
the reaction, what you was just saying, I feel that way too, like in the circumstances that I'm, been dealing with, and I've been talking about it, and it's been relief for me because I was trying to amend the situation, try to correct the situation, but what was happening was they wasn't responding. And I was feeling some type of way because it's family, so I was feeling some type of way. And then I had to text my cousin to tell her how I was feeling, and at the end, my anger turned to F you.
And
then I had to say it again, because I was still in my feelings, and I said, F him again, but then I had to come back and say, you know what, just let him go. You know, like you already did what you supposed to do, like you already made amends. Stop pushing yourself, stop trying to be on this and doing all that. Nope, let it go, and it's my husband said, well, won't you write them something? And something have a I said, I can't do it right now because I'm still in that mode that I'm trying to not, because my head be telling me, yeah, get on the bus or call somebody, say, come on, you want to take a ride? Let's go up here. I'm going to knock on his door. I'm going to punch him in his face. And then if his wife comes to the door, I'm going to punch her in her face. And then I'm going to get back in the bus or the car and go back home. All for what? Because he's mad over something that I said to him that he didn't like. That what I said to you must have been true. So I have to, take a look at, okay, Joy, you ain't gotta keep harping over somebody else's mess because it's not yours no more.
But you know what, too, Auntie, that when you find people responding like that, they were not in a place to receive it. So also when communicating, you got to learn and know when to pick and choose your battles.
Yep.
Sometimes you got to just walk away.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And just let that person have it. And you process it, right? So I woke up one morning pissed about something, right? Early in the morning. But I had to, once I process my thoughts, a lot of times if we sit with ourselves and process our thoughts, we're able to get the answer we need, right? And able to move forward. Had I not processed my thoughts, now I'm about to be throwing shade at everybody that come my way. Because now I think you want it too, if you say one thing. You ever been there? You said something I ain't like, did you talk to such and such? Did they tell you that? And they like, I'm just trying to see how your day is. Instead of processing your thoughts before you just overreact. We overreact sometimes when we get in our feelings. You get what I'm saying? And not thinking logical. So this year for me, communicating, I'm really going to be thinking logically before I'm just reacting, before I communicate certain things. And my nonverbal way of communicating, I'm going to be smiling all the time.
Yep.
Because I don't got time for it.
Yep.
That's something I always do. I am
smiling.
always in my head. I'm always thinking about anything, any type of dynamic I have with someone, whether it's in the moment positive, questionable, negative. Before I even respond, I'm just always taking in what just happened and just thinking. Just constantly, I'm always observing.
See, that's me. Always in my head.
Yeah, I'm always, even sometimes if I'm on the show and I might just be quiet, I'm literally just observing and taking in, the different things and what people are saying and just everything. Reflection is one of my biggest, superpowers. I'm always reflecting.
How does that help you for the people who's listening to reflect?
Reflecting helps me. It allows me to know how I need to have certain dynamics with people. Being more mindful of certain things. When I'm in certain situations, when I'm around certain people, how I'm handling other people moving forward. So I'm always reflecting on my relationship dynamics, whether that's all of them, not just romantically, friendship, family. I'm always reflecting on that. And I think about like the current dynamic I have, how it got there, where's it going. I'm constantly there. Feel like you always need to just reflect on those things and know, like, understand how this dynamic, this relationship plays a part in your life, your mental health, how you think, how you growing, how you evolving. Is it time for this to move on? If our relationship is in a weird space, why is that? Is it because I'm going through another chapter and this person not supposed to come with me? What's going on here? Is our relationship evolving in some kind of way that maybe I'm just not ready for, or something to that? So I'm just constantly always reflecting and thinking. That don't mean you always gotta tell people what it is on your mind. Think that reflection is for you at the end of the day.
Exactly.
To do on your own. So.
That's good.
I love that.
Especially the evolving part. We have to learn how to give people grace and space, right?
Yeah.
So I'm learning how to give people space. Especially my children, being a mom, and when you have children, I have young adult children and then teens, right? And I'm learning to give them space because the old mom and me, when they were younger, You ain't. I can't respond to them
Yeah.
that way any
Yeah.
longer. So I'm like, okay, when you get off of work, because they're young people, they're working, we'll have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Instead of yelling at them through the phone at work or X, Y, and Z, and
Yeah.
you ain't. I'm learning to give them that space,
Yeah.
or I'm learning. You know what? If I had this conversation, it's not gonna go well because I experienced it on Christmas, right? Had a conversation with my youngest daughter, and to be fair, as a parent, there's no rule book. Like really, it's no rule book,
At all.
and I made a statement to my daughter that wasn't directed to her, but the statement was true. Does that make sense, Auntie? You understand as a parent? And I stated it to her, but it wasn't for her. She had nothing to do with it. And I had her crying on Christmas. Imagine that.
Okay.
And me with communicating, I was good. Right? I was good. So I gave her a surface apology. Let's talk about that, right? When you apologize on the surface, right? It's the right thing to do because you hurt somebody's feelings. You know, because I'm a genuine person. But it wasn't a sincere apology. And as her mom, once I recognized that, I had to go back and say, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Right.
Now I'm crying.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now my oldest daughter, she upset. Like, you got mommy crying. But I'm like, no, I'm crying because everything I said I meant. So I know there's some things within me that I need to be real with. That's why I said I gotta check in with myself and I gotta communicate with myself and things that I want in life. There's certain things and where I'm at that I am not happy with. But only I can change that. My children have nothing to do with that.
That's it.
My job has nothing to do with that. My friend has nothing to do with that. You have nothing to do with that. My mom or dad, it's me. And when we get frustrated, we take what's going on with us out on other people and not meaning it. And most people don't even have the courage to come back and sincerely apologize. I'm sure we all can attest to somebody who gave us a surface level
that's what I
apology
did.
and want us to be okay
And I
with it.
communicated and said you could have kept that apology.
Yeah,
I'm not okay with that.
Right.
We don't want a surface level
But to them,
apology.
they felt like it was surface level. They thought it was sincere.
But
excuse me.
you know when something's
First of all,
sincere.
if your apology begins with "If I offended you, I'm sorry,"
that part,
just don't apologize.
It's not an apology.
Right.
If I'm sitting here telling you did.
Right.
I'm sitting here telling you why my feelings are hurt, why I'm frustrated. What this is how it came off to me. But oh, if you don't mean it, just
that
don't.
part.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
That's
true.
Just you
because you hold on.
I don't want it.
Because you hold on.
Because you don't mean it.
That's it. And then you hold on to stuff like. Why are you holding on to stuff? If just like you said, if the come in, I ain't trying to hear it.
That part.
But I also don't like an over apologist. That's a word I just
that
came
keep
up with.
apologizing.
Yeah.
Like you
just
do
came
stuff
up-
and then you keep apologizing, so you think I'm supposed to be okay with it because you know how to apologize. No.
And then you come in the baking room and say it
But
again.
you
I
constantly
apologize.
keep doing stuff, but
Yeah.
because you it's almost like I feel like you be somewhere like
trying to
I'm gonna just apologize.
Trying to
later.
gaslight me into.
I'm gonna just apologize later because I know how to apologize.
Right.
It's like,
No.
like stop doing weird stuff. Like, and then you can stop apologizing to me because you apologize too much. It's starting to get on my nerves.
Oh my
because
God.
I feel like you're constantly doing stuff to apologize for, and
then they come back and apologize for the same thing they just did. You know,
Some people
I'm listening
really don't know how to communicate, let alone apologize.
But I'm listening.
And for those type of people, go ahead, Auntie.
But I'm listening
before I even go there.
I'm listening to you and baby girl over here, and I'm going through a change in my life, and I realized that last year. You're not gonna take everybody in your change this year.
No, you're not.
You know, and I'm learning, right? Like you said, I got to think about myself. It's so much that God got for me to do that I be so worried about everybody else that I'm not focusing on what I need to focus on. So I'm like, okay, let me get you out my way. You know, let me say, you know what? That's it. I don't have to keep going through this. I don't have to keep going back and forth with you over something that I done already apologized for, and not going to keep doing it over and over again. I'm just going to leave y'all alone. You know,
where you're at
and then I'm going to go ahead. Because listen, today I was in my room. I had a peace. I was laughing to myself. I was watching movies. The movies were watching me, but I was enjoying the peace.
Yes, exactly.
I was like, wow. And even though them
You
thoughts
can't put a price
came
on your
back,
peace of mind.
even though them thoughts came back to how I felt about that person, God said, stop. Stop letting them rent space in your head. You know what
you
you've
know what
done.
advice I got, and shout out to Kendra. When you dwell on what other people is doing and getting, and you see them winning, and they don't got great customer service, and they nickel and diming people, taking advantage, and you wholeheartedly got your heart in your business.
They drain
it
you.
take away from you though, because they good. They good. They winning. However it may look look like they're winning in the right way, in the right manner. Like, wow, they being deceiving how they get it, but they're still winning. They're getting what you want to accomplish, and you're not getting it. And you're over here putting all your energy.
Yep.
Why them? Why did this happen for me? It takes away from you.
Yep.
And that was a lesson for me. Like, I have no time to communicate. Once I communicate to you, that's it.
Right.
I'm not going to go back and dwell on it. I can't do that this year. I'm not doing that this year. It doesn't matter who you are to me. I have other things I want to focus on and pour into myself.
So my question real quick is, you said, I think we're talking a lot about effective communication. People don't know how to communicate. Is it people don't know how to communicate, or people have different communication styles?
Both. That's a good one.
Because just because somebody, that don't mean people don't know how to communicate. Sometimes it's the communication style is just off from what you're used to, and then that could be it, and vice versa. No, you're absolutely right. Some people just communicate very differently.
They do
than others.
That's true.
And that's why I'm learning to give. I've learned that you give people grace. However, if I'm communicating to you what it is, you know what I mean? Whether you agree with it or not, if I'm not being disrespectful to you, respect that. Does that make sense? Respect that. Y'all got quiet. Why y'all get quiet?
I guess I'm thinking about
It depends on the situation. It's the situation I'm thinking about. Like, I don't want to verbally say, but respect that.
We don't even have to get into specifics. So one of the things I could say, for example, you or someone, like, through text or whatever, it don't matter what somebody says, you always respond. The conversation can be over and I can be like, okay, you still go back and like it. Or you still say okay. Or something else. I might not do that. You say something, I might put okay. If you put respond and say X, Y, and Z, I read it, cool, I got it. I might not even acknowledge it.
I got you.
But for you, you might need me to acknowledge that.
I got you.
So that's different communication styles. That's something you require, but that don't mean somebody not communicating with you. That's just your communication style. So that's just an example.
That is a great example.
Or ignoring you.
And you're absolutely
but it
right.
depends if it's a question, of course, and respond. But if I say, Siobhan, like, oh, early you coming to the studio tonight, and I put, yeah, and she go back and like it, boom. If I say that, I might not acknowledge her year. All right, say
yeah.
You know, the
right.
You know, like,
and I had to learn.
Great, cool.
That's it.
You know,
that's it.
The conversation over me, you say, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I had to learn. That used to be a little pet peeve of mine.
That was a pet peeve.
It was a big pet peeve of mine. Like, you seen my text. Right. Like, I seen it.
You know what? And I see that sometimes on my texts and stuff.
Gauge.
And I be like, okay, I already said yes. So are they waiting for me to respond again? But it's kind of crazy.
No, I'm sorry. Like,
because
stop it. Yeah.
I'm just learning how to
thank you.
Text. Like, my daughter and my friends say, stop going back and forth. Because when that person says something, you go right back in and say something else. And then they say something again and you say something else. And then at the end, you trying to figure out, should you say something else? And I have to be like, no. Once I say what I said, why am I going back and forth with you? Instead of just saying, you know what, I already said what I said, let it go.
Again, people have different communication styles. And if you want somebody to respect yours, you might have to respect the other person.
Exactly. So, like, you made a really great point, and it's a lot of people that I text often and text me that do exactly what Earl said. But I'm a communicative person, so I'm always communicating. I'm acknowledging that I seen it.
That don't mean the other person.
Right, and most people
Yeah.
are not. And I had to learn to be and I had to learn to be okay with that. You know what I mean? Now, before I wasn't. I thought it was a problem, it was an issue.
Yeah.
However, I learned this is how certain people communicate.
So for example, so that's one example. Another way that like that's just a small one, but for me, it's like when somebody invite me somewhere, I be wanting. I need some certain details for me to feel comfortable.
Right.
Some people feel like they don't need to share that. So if you invite me somewhere, it's like, earlier, yeah, you could come with me to Bali. We got this, we got going on. Just get your flight. Do I have to pay towards the Airbnb?
Right.
Do I need to get a rental car? Do I need to contribute something? Right. I need to know these things before I go because I don't like surprises. Because if I go and then you tell me, oh, yeah, I talked to such and such. Yeah, you got to give like $300. You should have told me that before I came.
I agree.
Right.
I agree.
I need certain things answered for me for certain things because I do feel like certain people, what I told you the other day, I feel like people who only know how to communicate through text are passive aggressive communicators. And I said that because I feel like that's a way of getting around answering certain stuff. That's like getting around acting like you didn't see it or ignoring it or answering what you feel like answering in the messages.
Because if we have a conversation,
I'm gonna be like, hello, you didn't answer
yes,
that.
exactly.
I can keep going back to it, but in the text it's almost like you want to act like that didn't happen.
Exactly.
That question wasn't asked.
I've done that before, answer certain parts
but
of the
again, for some people, that could be like, here go Early doing the most. Where other people, asking all these questions, where it's like, I just don't like being put in awkward situations. So I ask a lot of questions, and that's my form of communication. Like, I don't like surprises. I don't like being dumbfounded. I like knowing the situations that I'm getting into. And for people who don't want to answer those questions, I feel like you're trying to get me into something that I don't want to be in.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So that's me. I need these done.
How about when people use their emotions to blackmail you by not communicating? Those nonverbal.
Oh yeah.
Just using their just have attitudes. Like just every little thing is an attitude for whatever reason. They mad at for whatever reason, and then they got an attitude. You don't know why they got an attitude.
Or people who
and it's
just
nonverbal.
So there's this thing where I feel like a lot of people will be like, you know what, I'm not even letting somebody know what they did to me. I'm just gonna stop talking to them.
Right.
To me, that's problematic.
Right.
Because I feel like there are certain things that are blatant where it's like, now come on,
right?
That's just blatant disrespect. You should know,
right?
But then there's other things where it's like, well, how would the person know they did something to offend you?
That's it.
Tell them.
That's it.
How do you care about this person?
That's what I. That's
where you feel like this is your friend. You say all these years, and you can't come to them and say you did this. I feel offended. So when people don't do that, I feel like, were you looking for something?
Right.
Because I don't know, or why is this person the whole blame of your? Why don't you want to communicate to get clarity if this is your friend?
That's it. Right.
Because if I'm upset with one of my friends to the point where I don't want to talk to them, and they're my friend, I love you, I'm going to tell you.
You
want to
tell me how I feel. Right.
And whether you feel like you did or not, you're going to know.
Wow.
I'm laughing.
And you know what? Did I say earlier?
Earlier.
I'm sorry, baby. Listen, when you said that, it took me back to a person that I thought was my friend. We was like, she called me sister. I call her sister. We did things, and then she went through stuff with her family, and she wanted me to go with her first, and then she said, no, I'm gonna go by myself. Okay. So I said, you know what? No weapon formed against you should prosper. She said, well, I'm not gonna be on Facebook no more, and I'm not gonna talk to you no more. Well, damn. So I'm like, I'm like, okay. Like,
well, she told you.
What did I do?
Right. But she never said.
She told you.
She never said what I did. She never questioned. She never called me. That's hurtful. And I was like, we was friends. That's hurtful. If she needed me, I was there. If I needed her, she was there. Like, but my thing is, like you said, if I'm your friend, tell me what I did, so maybe we can correct it.
All right.
So I'm like, wow. And I was angry and hurt for a little bit. I was like,
That's a real feeling.
I was traveling with you, doing stuff with you, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it hurt me. But then I was like, okay, maybe she wasn't my friend for that season.
Those are some things you have to make peace with because
And I did.
that's something that you can't do anything about.
I did.
It's
You know how
like-
many years ago that was? That had to be like, what, 3 years ago? It had to be like.
I mean, that's something that could still come up. I feel like
Yeah.
sometimes people might downplay a friendship breakup, but it's very much hurtful, just as a romantic breakup. I know I was just talking to a group of women, and they were saying like, yo, everybody, there was a consensus like, yo, when I hit 30, I feel like all of my friendship dynamics changed. Like I lost so many friends. I'm like, I lost so many friends these past few years. Friends that I grew up from childhood with over situations that we can look back on and probably deem petty. And it's like, damn, how solid was our friendship?
Right.
Like we just stopped talking to that. But then, as time passed or as I continue to reflect, I'm like, yo, like when I think about friends that I even lost growing up, I'd be like, yeah, it was a reason why we're not friends anymore. And while I can't maybe see that now with some of the friendships that just ended or moving forward, I'm sure I'm going to be able to reflect and be like, I see why I had to move forward. Because we were just going into completely different chapters and books in our lives where I'm over here, they over there, and they just not meant.
And they're not respecting my communication
to
style.
be in my vortex. They're just not meant to be, and vice versa. I'm not meant to be in theirs. So I have to make peace with those things because those are real friendships and dynamics that I cherished and I loved and still have love for them. But yeah, you just
Because
again,
you know what, I
over
think about
communication problems.
I think about, certain things that we used to do together. A song would come on and I think about the song and how she would laugh when I'm doing the dance or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think about stuff like that.
Those are
Wondering
pleasant
how
memories.
she doing. And,
That's a part of your life,
but
you
then I
should.
go back to, you know what, I'm good.
But you don't gotta stifle it with anger. That's a real
that's
part of
what
your
I
life.
said. Yeah,
Those are beautiful
I'm not-
memories that you should
It's
cherish.
like I'm not
and
angry no
remember.
more. I'm happy for whatever her life is. I'm not holding on to that no more. If she come back and say, can we talk? I'll talk to her. But it ain't going to be the same. We're not
It
going to
can't,
be...
'cause trust-
Yes.
Trust, listen.
Yes, we're not going to be the same people
Trust
that we
is
used to
hard
be. Yeah.
It's hard to earn, easy to lose.
Yep. I mean, I lost a friend. She was... When I say this person was my friend, she was 35 years old when she passed away. When I say she was my friend, she was my friend. Like, she was like a sister to me. Like, on the same block I live on now, me and her became close friends. I miss her. I talk about her all the time. I miss her. Like we had a communication, we had a relationship where she was doing stuff that I wasn't doing, but she respected me and I respected her what she was doing. And we looked at each other like sisters. I miss her
I'm so
a lot.
glad you brought that up. I was online, right? I'm gonna just change it a little bit, right? Change the vibe here. So I was online, YouTube, of course, right? I'm a YouTube junkie. And a picture from the scene in Waiting to Excel with all those black women was on there. I screenshot it because I said, look at this. Look how all these black women befriended each other, supported each other. Every last one of them had a scenario they were dealing with. But what did they do? They linked arms.
Yep.
Like literally, ladies.
Yep.
They linked arms
Yep.
and came together.
Yep.
They linked arms.
Yep.
You don't even see that today amongst black women. It's like, what happened to that? What's up with that?
Embarrassment.
Like,
Some people are embarrassed of the situation.
I'm so insecure about myself early. I'm using this as a scenario. Like, yeah, I worked on that. Go get my book. I am worthy. I am valuable. I am a woman truly loved. Did the work. But I'm so insecure about myself that I'm hating on Erla because she getting attention. I'm just saying, like, this is what we're dealing with today.
No.
Andre gonna say why, but this is what we're dealing with today because I have insecurities instead of You know what I mean? Complimenting.
It happens a lot.
Complimenting my sister, telling her she look good, she look beautiful. Okay, but you look good.
Some people keep me out of certain things.
Like,
and
what
we
is
can't
up?
invite Erla.
Why is that? Or encouraging her, checking in,
But
see
see,
how
you
was
know
her
what?
day.
And that's the
You
thing.
don't see
I
it's
think
seldom
that's-
that you see that today.
Yeah, I think that's kind of I don't know. I say weird because I always say I could never be jealous of another woman.
People are.
But I found myself when you and
Brooke.
used to be on here, and I'd be over here in the corner. I was like, look at them two young people over there, and I'm sitting over here, and they be
Shout
like,
out to Brooke.
But I felt, comfortable because they respected me. You know what I'm saying? But I looked at them like, dang, I remember when I was young, and I had, but Joy, you still look good. Stop playing yourself. You know
That's
what I'm
right,
saying?
Auntie.
So I always give women compliments
You
because
have
I'm like,
to.
listen, we don't know what women go through.
That sisterhood is important, man. It's so needed. It's like a bond of no other. I always call Erla my sister friend. She's my sister friend. She's like a younger sister to me. Leave it up to her. Sometimes people like, is that your daughter? She loves it when they say that. I've always been a motherly type. It ain't by looks, not at all. Not at all. Look at the face, okay? No wrinkles and nothing. But yeah, this is my sister friend. You get what I'm saying? But these relationships are needed. You get what I'm saying? They're needed. And we communicate great with each other.
And it's okay. You know what? It's okay to have a little jealousy of your friends. Because
we need you to elaborate.
Yeah,
I don't think
sometimes
so.
you be wanting, like I have a lot of friends that's single.
Okay.
And I'm a married woman. And sometimes I'll be like, dang, I want to be single again.
Okay.
I don't want to be like them.
I got you.
But then I'll be like, I can be like them in a married way because I can still go out. I don't have to stay in the house. My husband don't be like,
I think you might want to change the word. We don't want to say jealous. Okay. Because you have people. You have people.
Envy. I say envy. I'm gonna say envy.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say envy. I'm not jealous. Okay, thank y'all. I'm not jealous.
Yeah, we not.
No,
doing
the envy
no
part.
Mm-hmm.
And I be like, my girlfriends, they be like, well, we going so we about to go away, and I be like, I want to go, and I can.
But you know what?
But then sometimes my priorities be like, nah, I gotta.
You know what I'm learning? Because let me tell you, I was a street runner, baby. Okay? I was a street runner. You hear me? Like in the streets. I'm a mom now. I still like doing things and prioritize that. But I'm thankful for the opportunity of being a mom, and I cherish those moments. And then when I'm out doing things, that's something separate. You got to separate the two.
Well, listen, how
you
about
know
this?
what I mean?
I'm a mom, but they grown.
I know.
I got grandkids, but they're theirs.
Right.
So, I mean,
you just got to separate the two.
That's what I also just feel like it's okay to feel feelings. Like, those are normal and natural feelings.
They are.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they're people, your friends, you never know, they probably feel some way like that about you.
About you,
I just had a husband I was married to for older years.
Yeah.
And I don't need to be out here single.
Yep.
So
you are absolutely right.
So I feel like those are natural feelings. Nothing wrong with feeling.
I'm so glad you said that. I was in shout out to Soul Cycle and Ardmore Keith, my trainer, my cousin, shouting them out. But my class this morning, it was a struggle, baby. It was a struggle. It was hard. So I was in the bathroom doing my routine when I do it at the Soul Cycle because here everything look a mess, right? And I mentioned that this was hard.
Okay, so what size?
And I mentioned that it was hard. And another lady who took the class, young lady, she heard me. And she said it was hard for her today too. And she's been doing it for a while. That made me feel okay knowing that other people have challenging days too. I thought I was off. You get what I'm saying? And again, like Erla said, acknowledge your feelings. Acknowledge how you're feeling and what you're dealing with and how what's going on that day.
Right.
Lately, I've been asking a lot of people, especially young women, how you doing today? And I've been getting okay. And I said, oh, that's good. And they look. I'm like, you know why? Because it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to be good. You don't have to be great.
Yep.
And then they thank me and they open up and share what they're dealing with. And they leave there feeling better. Because it's like, you expect me to be okay and happy and smiley every second. That's
I remember one of my friends,
part of life. That's
I
not
will
gonna
always
happen.
take this is something small, but I always took this with me when I was younger. I remember one time one of my friends, we was together and somebody asked her how she was feeling, and she said, "Blank. It's okay to be blank sometimes." And I always took that with me because she like, right, sometimes you can't describe it. Like, I just feel here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm blank. It's okay to be blank sometimes. So
Draw a blank line. I don't know what feeling that's going to describe how I'm feeling today, but
Yeah, because
that's
people
good.
ask me, they say, they say, "How you doing today?" And I'm like, "I'm good," And then sometimes I'll be like, "I'm okay," And then sometimes say, "I'm fine," And then when I feel like I really don't, let me get on the phone,
but
because I
then
don't want
it's
to text.
also like I like to use big action words too. I'm superb. I'm fantastic. Because some days I feel like that. And I feel like you're not accustomed to hearing those things. We're accustomed to saying good and fine, well. I feel fantastic. Feel great.
I know
I
that's
felt
right.
like
my day.
amazing.
I felt pleasant today. Very pleasant.
Yes,
I had a pleasant day.
Yes.
I felt
yes.
really good all day.
Great today.
It feels
Like, I
good to feel good about yourself.
Right.
It really do. And we should acknowledge that more. And then you get around people who not feeling good about themselves.
Nope.
It can help lift them up.
I do
or
that.
it could drain you if you stay around.
I do that every
negative
time
people.
I get.
Down my bright.
Listen,
you.
I do that every time I get on the dance floor. I be to my
Yes.
own self. I'll be in my own world, having fun, laughing, enjoying myself. That's like that peace for me. And I
Gage,
do.
where we at on time? Oh, nice. We got some
Yeah,
time.
listen, I love to dance. And I love to enjoy myself, when I'm out with my friends or I'm out with my husband, I do the same thing around him, and he be like, "Let her go," because I just be like thinking of everything, that God has done for me in these past years, the accomplishments, the going to school,
Come on.
the things that he have shown me. Listen, August the 3rd, I'll be celebrating 15 years being free from cancer.
That's beautiful.
Last year I had an experience, what I didn't know what it was going to be, but he turned it around for me. So I'll be celebrating 15 years in August. His will, I always say his will, So I know, like I'm planning places to go already. We going on a cruise in June. I can't wait. I'm trying to go somewhere. I told my cousin I'm coming to visit her. Like I'm trying to go back down south. I'm trying
That's
to do
great.
some different things. Like,
you know what, Auntie? I was just having a pep talk with myself that do it scared. It's a lot of things I've been wanting to do, but fear set in. This year, I'm doing it scared.
Right.
January the 8th, I did something I was fearful of doing, but I did it anyway. And it felt so freaking good afterwards. It's like I accomplished something because I did it anyway.
Right.
And you never know where it's going to lead you.
Listen.
So I'm doing this
You gotta
scared.
tell us what that is off camera.
I'm going to share it when the time is right.
You keep on
Listen, I was watching. I watched my little cousins and go. They been traveling.
I am. You're gonna be
and
the
they've
first,
been doing a lot of things like jumping off of planes and doing all kinds of stuff.
I love it. I love adventure.
I'm like, wow. I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna do
I don't
all
know if I
that.
can jump off a plane. I was jumping that Sky Zone, and I don't know that one little spring went down. I pulled something in my bag. I said, "Oh my God, Lord!"
Right?
Okay, showing my age jumping on this at Sky Zone. Couldn't tell me nothing. I was taking all these selfies until I jumped. I was taking these selfies like, "Oh, you looking good, girl." Did that jump, baby? Okay. My abs couldn't see me, Auntie.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
That is hilarious. Right. But no, really, I really want to, this year particularly, with business, with the podcast, with family, with personal goals, I really want to do it scared and just do it.
Yeah, and you will.
I'm not going to keep telling myself that it's okay. You know what I mean? You're all right. I'm not going to overwork myself to work out how I'm really feeling. I've learned that about myself. to work out how I'm really feeling and try to suppress what I really want. I'm not doing that this year. Does that make sense, guys? You get what I'm saying?
Yep, it do.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's things my heart desire certain things. But I'll tell myself it's okay. It's not okay. I need to sit down, really think about what it is I want.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, of course, pray about it, but you still got to put actions behind it.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And put actions behind a lot of these things that I want.
Right.
And stop telling myself that it's okay. Sometimes we don't think we're good enough for things.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
You really are the creator of your world, of your life. You create the path that you walk on.
Right.
If you don't like where you at, look at 6 months ago, a year ago, the seeds you sowed into yourself, you sowed into your life, things you were doing.
Yep.
That's why I'm like, listen, because I have this insight and my intellect and my mindset is thinking on, listen, you got to put the work in so you can receive results.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting the work in 2024. Everything I do, I'm putting the work in. And results are going to show up as long as you put the work in.
Right. Right.
And there's certain things that you got to give up. You got to be willing to sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
And we won't be wanting to do that. We want to keep doing the same thing. What's the definition of insanity? We all know it. Keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and expecting different results and never do. Whether it's friendships, relationships, personal goals, business goals, vacation goals. It's like, how you gonna keep telling your kids you're gonna take them to Disney World every year and it never happen?
Yep.
Like, come on.
Healthy roles.
I said, damn, who did that? Not you, Siobhan. You know my kids get I do way too much. Okay, those kids done been places. No, but really, you gotta take a moment and say, wait a minute, it's time for me to do some things differently.
That's going back to communication. Don't say word is bond.
It is.
Right.
Don't put your
So
word out
don't
there.
say things that you don't mean to me.
Right.
Good or bad.
Yeah.
Don't
Right.
make me promises. Don't say you gonna do something. Don't say we gonna link up. Don't do. All of that is about follow through for me, and I pay
Right.
attention to those things
Right.
too. Like, don't just say it just to say it. Like, I like action behind it. Words and actions got to be matching.
That part. I love it. It sounds like you talking to what man you talking to?
That's everybody.
No, it sounds like you're talking to a man.
Right,
Auntie,
because she
right?
like deep in the
Listen,
gear.
This
if the
this
shoe
year,
fit, maybe you might take
I
it
know
off
that's
and
right.
put on
Words and
another one.
action. Okay, she not playing.
Everybody.
I hear you.
No, she not.
That's right, Early.
That's right.
Tell
Give it to him again, because I need to go home and say so.
Words and actions got to be matching.
Yes,
Right,
they
right,
do.
right.
What's the 2024 theme? I know y'all probably tired of hearing it, but stand on business. We saying names and standing on business all year.
Oh,
Right. So
That
get
is
it together,
funny.
John.
Oh, so remember, I know how we can end this, y'all. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
So remember, we picked a word. Did you pick a word this year?
I did not.
You didn't. It's okay. So I picked a word this year. We don't gotta share it, but I picked a word this year. And because we did it last year,
Okay.
and my word was balance.
Okay.
I'm finally seeing it happen since this year been coming in.
Okay.
And I was so proud of
That's
myself.
good.
I didn't really find that balance last year, even though that was my word. But this year, I'm standing on it. I'm standing on balance. And I'm balancing out work and family. I'm not overly working. You get what I'm saying?
Well,
It's
I like
like,
that.
no, I need rest today. I'm going to get rest. God, you know what we need. You're going to supply it. And I'm getting rest. You know what I mean? I'm not overly doing things like I was. So I am finding that balance. So that
Right.
feel good. So with that being said, my new word for this year, I've been finding myself walking into it, which is I can share it, responsible.
Mm.
Being
I like that.
responsible, right?
like that.
Okay.
Because I have not been responsible financially. I'm talking about financially, right? But now I'm like, certain things I'm not doing And I've been cutting out on up to until this 11th day of 2024. And I'm proud of myself. I'm being responsible by taking initiative and responding responsibly to situations that are coming up, and I'm handling them the right way.
Okay.
And it feels good. It
All
really
right.
do.
Mine's is a peace of mind.
One word.
Oh.
That's a paragraph.
Okay, mine's is peace.
One word, peace. All right. I love it.
Not allowing anybody to disturb it. Not allow anybody to come in and interrupt my peace. For me to be relaxed this year and have more insight on what my life should be, you know, and how I should do the things that I need to do, like changing my eating habits, you know, eating more healthier, you know, living longer so I can be here for my grandchildren, you know, when they get older, you know, and just the peace. That's what I really want, just peace.
That's beautiful. Peace can't be bought. You got a word for us, EJ?
No, I'm going to intentionally put more thought into that.
Okay, you want to share your word for last year?
No, I'm okay.
Okay. You don't want to share it?
No.
All right, that's fine. So listen, ladies, as we start off 2024.
I'm sorry, I've been yawning. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. As we start off 2024, I hope that everything you set your heart to do will be accomplished.
Thank you. Same here.
Or you'll be on a path to
Absolutely
accomplishing it.
Most
If it's not
definitely.
achieved by then, you'll be on that path.
Yes.
I
Thank
claim
you.
it.
Do what you need to do,
Claim it, right.
scared, like me. I'm telling you, so many doors is going to open for us when we do things that, like, hey, I don't do it anyway. You get what I'm saying? Do it anyway. And you never know most people are looking up to you and you don't even realize it.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? They looking at you.
That's right.
They like, look at Erla. Like, yeah, she like traveling. Erla loves traveling. I love that about Erla. Right? And it may be someone that really wants to travel, get out there, but like not.
Yeah.
Erla make it look easy. She like straight from the airport to work. What? What's up?
Right.
What's up? And handling her business.
I know that's
Working
right.
that 8-hour shift. Okay? Straight from the airport. I love it.
That's
You
right.
you get what I'm
That's
saying?
right. Yep.
And Auntie, you're an encourager. You're always encouraging and meeting people. Somebody need that. Don't be afraid to encourage somebody. You know what I mean?
I'm not.
This was a great. Go ahead. You about to say something before I end it?
One of my friends had texted me today, well yesterday, and she said one of the young ladies at the place that she went to asked about me,
See,
and I said, please tell all them women I said I love them.
you might want to revisit that this year
Yeah.
and go speak to them.
Yeah, I did.
Go speak to them again.
Yeah, and you know what? And I said they probably, you know, I said I'm gonna ask her if she want me to come back and share.
We wear a
with
lot
them
of
again.
hats as women. We carry a lot. We deal with a lot. But most importantly, we love hard. We're nurturing. We're caring. We are woman. I like that, right?
Right. All
right.
Like that.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Girl Talking in Spirit podcast. First episode of 2024. I'm excited about this new year. I'm telling you, I'm doing so many things scared this year that I'm just doing it. I'm telling you. Like, I'm just doing it. It's like, because you never know. Tomorrow's not promised, and you never know what tomorrow holds.
Right.
You gotta do it today.
Right.
Like,
Live your
just
life.
go achieve your goals this year, man.
Yeah.
And stop making excuses. We make excuses and just do it.
Just do it.
Everyone is dealing with something. You're not the only one.
Yep.
But we're not, those people that succeed, they're not making excuses. They're just doing it.
Okay.
All right. Until the next episode. And I got a new intro song coming out. Shout out to Devin, my little brother. So hopefully it'll be ready by March. That's the goal. Yes, I got a whole new intro song. I'm going to be showing my video clips of us in the studio. I'm excited. But until the next episode, guys.
Check out Girl Talk in the Spirit podcast with Siobhan. From radio to podcast, check it out online. Find it on Spotify and Spreaker.com. That's SPREAKER.com. Share the vibe online with your girl, Siobhan, yo.